Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy, channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go through Twitter, see what people are sharing on social media. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it, generally related to three different topics: wealth building, commodities, and/or financial topics. Let's get in there, let's take a look, see what people are sharing. If you want to follow me, it's at Finance. And if you want to join our community, findingvalue.com. I go through all this stuff looking for potential investment opportunities. I share those opportunities with everyone. And I also share my strategies across the board. So, going into Ed Finley Richardson, it says efforts to decarbonize have gathered steam. Wait, did you just say 7.5%? So, coal demand in terms of growth on percent year over year is at 7.5% in October of 2024. I thought we were supposed to, decline in our coal demand. Here's the thing that I think will happen out in the future. I think coal demand is going to explode. I think it's going to explode to levels that people just don't understand. And the driver out in the future will be increased electricity demand and the potential for natural gas to slow and oil to slow. And renewables are not a one-to-one relationship replacement for coal and or natural gas. So we need these steady forms of energy and power generation. And no doubt, nuclear will be out in the future, no doubt. But in the interim, where we have plants that are either natural gas or coal, they may need to be converted back to coal in the future. Now I understand people decarbonization. Well, I'm not in the camp that thinks decarbonization is a problem. I think it's made up because we've got an oil problem and they need cover to switch to electric vehicles as quickly as possible, even if there are, they can't come out and say that. So watch oil. If oil starts to have problems, and watch natural gas over the next few years, coal could be a huge benefactor from that. And it's not from, it'll be decarbonization versus portable electricity. And if we try to pile on everything we can from an electrical basis, I don't know if we'll be successful doing it. I think there'll be mineral constraints. I think high inflation's coming from all this, and it's going to be rooted in energy. It's going to be rooted in energy, and I think physical metals are going to do incredibly well. And I think the overall markets are going to struggle. And this is out in the future. It's not immediate. The overall markets would be the S&P 500. NASDAQ will pop its bubble. It's all coming. Willem Middlecoop says the best proxy for our commodity discovery fund is this index of the Canadian resource exploration stocks. The Toronto Stock Exchange Venture Index, CDNX, seems on the verge of a major breakout after tax loss selling season is over later this month. So this is CDNX is what this is. This is the S&P TSX Venture Composite Index. He has a simple trend line that's broken to the upside. We have an ultimate low in 2020, that COVID crash. We came all the way up, hit our resistance level, created this level, and then we've broken out recently on it. So that's looking absolutely excellent for a potential bottoming move, breaking the downtrend line, and then the big move higher over probably the next decade plus. So this is what's important, is that this is all interconnected. Everything I'm talking about is interconnected. The Canadian TSX is interconnected to currencies, which is interconnected to the bubbles that we've got in the markets. And what we're seeing is, one second, guys. What we're seeing is the undervalued stuff putting in bottoming patterns, and we're going to see the overvalued stuff, crypto, NASDAQ, S&P, whatever it is, they're going to have topping patterns soon. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be immediate. This all takes time to play out. All takes time. So Great Marty, it says the dollar index major break above the 2-year downtrend. What he's got here, you can see the shoulder, head, shoulder, and then we've come across all the way over here, and we've got another show. I don't know if this is a continuation pattern higher or if this is a false break out where it slingshots lower. That I do not know. So I'm going to just continue to watch it. If that breaks higher, generally interest rates follow that. If it breaks lower and we go and we break back down, we could see rates pulling on back. We're kind of at a crossroads here. I think they're trying to lower rates. They want to lower rates, but we'll see what the long end does and what the DXY does. I should create Tulip Coin, the next big coin. Obviously, that combines two bubbles together. So wouldn't that make the biggest bubble? Having Tulip Coin be the next big coin. And just to show you, there's some responses here. It says, I didn't see that one. I want to see the one where we've got the tulip in it. Never mind. Great Marty, it says the future of money. Tulips made sense compared to what we are witnessing. It won't be long. And this is FARTcoin. FARTcoin having a 212 million market cap may just be a sign that there's a lot of hot air in the markets right now. Yeah. And it is a little bit annoying to me because I watch all the finance stuff. So I follow the finance stuff. And since Bitcoin is up, I'm getting just tons of people commenting in the finance world about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and FARTcoin and all this stuff. Everyone is talking about it. So obviously the sentiment is very high. And then some people, they try to like ag me on. They keep forwarding me crap on Twitter about Bitcoin and all these other crypto coins. And I'm just like, why are you sending me this stuff? Like, it doesn't matter. My opinions are quite obvious. I don't like crypto. I don't believe in it. But when the sentiment is like this, everybody gets all gung ho. And that's exactly what we're experiencing is the gung ho sentiment around it, and that it can only go up and it's going to go to the moon of like $2 million a coin. Okay, whatever. Coming on down, we've got Dennis Porter. Listen to this guy, guys. This is crazy. This is when I read this, I just go, man, this guy's crazy. Do not wait do not wait on Bitcoin right now. Let me say that again. Do not wait to buy Bitcoin right now. The price has skyrocketed to $100,000, and the so-called experts screaming for you to wait for it to crash are nothing more than opportunistic predators, salivating at the chance to prey on your fear that the price is too high. These shills, these con artists, are orchestrating a classic effort to suppress the price so they can get more Bitcoin for themselves, lining their own pockets while leaving you with even more expensive Bitcoin. Be smarter than they think you are. Bitcoin always goes up. Really? That's what you're going to say? Do not sit around and wait for Bitcoin to drop 60,000 or lower is never going to happen again. Before even thinking about investing, don't be fooled by their greed and lies. The people flooding Bitcoin at this price are not your friends. They're the reason so many hardworking folks get left behind. Stay vigilant and don't let the scammers win. What the heck is he talking about? Do you listen to what this person is saying? He sounds crazy. Now, I don't ever talk about an asset class like he does. I never say, oh, this is a must own. This is what it's going to do. It never goes down. Guys, that's what the exact thing you want to look out for. That is what a bubble is. Now, could the price go up? Yes, but people acting like this is ludicrous. That is very dangerous of what he's saying there. So, what I would say is I wouldn't enter based off the chart because you should have been entering at 14, 15,000. Now, the big part of the run has occurred, and your risk goes up as that run goes up. The problem is there's no way to value any of this stuff. And if you're in the camp that believes that it has zero value, there's no way you should be there. So if you can't value something, that's where the risk goes way up, especially if you've got sentiment like this. And here is Balaji. Bitcoin will flip gold. It's already underway. This is the Bitcoin to gold ratio, and you can see this thing coming on up and oscillating back and forth of this ratio. Here's the thing though. Is Bitcoin a creation of the NASDAQ bubble? Yes, I think it is. If it is, and we're at the end of the NASDAQ, and we're at the end of this market condition, what happens next? At the end, you generally get a blow off top. You generally get people acting like this. Michael Saylor was caught in the last bubble of 2000. He chases things. He is chasing this full bore. Now, are we at the top? I have no idea of Bitcoin. But could it be coming soon? It very well could be. What makes me think that that could be the case? Well, we've got the Canadian TSX bottoming. We've got these bottoming patterns in commodities. And if they start to go higher, people are going to spend money, more money on the things that they need versus the things that they want. And Bitcoin is an extension of liquidity and things that they want in the system. That's where I'll end it. Aaron Pelletier says, and they have what others don't. So it says infinite liquidity provided by the Federal Reserve. Combined, and you get the following. Quantitative easing was amazing for asset inflation. There's a lot of talk about US equities outperforming the rest of the world. Guess what? There's good reason for that. US corporations are simply more innovative, better managed, and have been growing their earnings faster than others. Well, they took the start of this chart from 2010, and that's when the bottom of the market was, and then they go to the peak. Emerging markets do well when the dollar falls, and it's based off the market condition. It has very little to do with the actual assets behind it. So if you go into a recovery phase, low inflation, low interest rates, money rotates into US equities. It goes away from the rest of the world. So if this is the index level and this is the earnings, it's because of the condition you are in. This will be a peak and this will be a top here soon, whenever it is. And this is going to go back up when commodities blast off. And it deals everything with the market condition and the cycles. Everything with that. Aaron Pelletier again, it says if only your car could run on BTC, MSTR, and NVIDIA. It says oil market sentiment was recently below COVID lows per Raymond James. We'll show the thread here. Oil market sentiment now at all-time lows. So net positioning recently at all-time lows way down here. And look how low we are. We are lower than 2016, 2017, 18, 2019, the COVID crash. We are lower than all of it. Think about that. Think about the opportunity we have here to get in here and buy some undervalued assets that no one gives a crap about. So when you look at sentiment, we need to be attracted to things that are out of market sentiment, that people hate and are not talking about, aka the oil market. Conversely, on the other end of the spectrum, crypto is where everyone's talking about. So if you just go on Twitter, just scroll through random things, it's all about Bitcoin. There's nothing about oil. Very, very few. Outside of the hardcore people like Josh Young and maybe a few others that specialize in oil, those are the only people talking about. Razor Oil says, now if you think about it, FARTcoin is a natural gas coin. That is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Fred Krueger, silver, which went the way of glass beads, which will go the way of copper tokens, which will go the way of giant yap stones, says Michael. So these guys are real confident that Bitcoin's the new thing and that gold and silver and all the other stuff will go away in terms of these other things that went away. I don't know about that. Silver is used in a lot of different things. There's great demand for it. So I don't think that will go down in value because there's value behind it. It's actually what backs a lot of electrical connections. So you could say it's all in the computers that make all this stuff. But you know what? It's opinions. Opinions are opinions. So and everybody has a right to an opinion to some degree, but all it is an opinion. Praise says Global Atomic, the most advanced uranium greenfield developer targeting production by Q1 2026, and with the most capex spent to date, 125 million among peers, has a US 178 million market cap, and is down 82% since its previous all-time high. UTWIT is basically pricing it as a zero at this point. Contrarian question. I would be a contrarian here, but I'm also not in the game of speculating that amount. So I wouldn't put a whole bunch of money, but I would speculate and put a little. Heinrich Leopold says when temps get really cold, power burn and heating demand soars. In addition, production slumps due to freeze-offs and lower wind production. This has a multiplier effect on inventories, which are 83 billion cubic feet higher than last year and can turn in a massive deficit within weeks. And this is due to cold temperatures and weaker wind generation. Nat gas power burn demand rose to an impressive 44.3 billion cubic feet per day yesterday, up 14 billion cubic feet per day versus last year. 14 in a single day. Power burn will fall today, but will easily top year-ago levels. More on real-time and daily power burn here, and that's where we've got. So look at this demand just ripping compared to year-ago power burn. Way, way, way up. Crazy. Look at the year-over-year change in daily power burn in the past 6 weeks. So I think these swings are going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to get crazy here. And a lot of people, they look at history and they kind of try to make projections forward. There could be things that align that just eat through our inventory very quickly. Days of coverage is real tight. It's a lot tighter over the years. Now that demand has gone up and inventory sizes have not. So it's like increasing the power of your car dramatically. Maybe a huge engine swap and your gas tank stayed the same. But now you went from 30 miles per gallon down to like 8. So you get, 1/3 or so of the mileage out of that tank. Markets are broken. They have transitioned from an exchange for investors to change ownership in producing assets at different prices into what we see in 2024. Legalized gambling. People are taking pictures of throwing Benjamin Graham's book in the garbage. FARTcoins are collectively worth 200 million. MicroStrategy getting rewarded for a massive pump and dump. And some of the smartest people I know in the tech space have no idea whatsoever how NVIDIA is doing what it's doing. Enjoy the ride, folks. This is the Roaring 20s. Unusual whales for the video. The Roaring 20s. This is exactly what it looks like. This is not good, guys. I'm kind of scared of what happens after this. I mean, all this money, I'm excited for the commodity bull market, but it's going to hurt a lot of people. And these people are all going to get smoked. History doesn't repeat itself, not so sure. So US dollar index, he's got an overlay of this fractals. Dollar too strong, Trump January 17, and maybe we get a rollover here. We'll see. 24-25 versus 2016 and 2017. NCIB buybacks for November 2024. Some absolutely amazing numbers here for most. This is the Canadian companies and some of their share buybacks. Some of these share buybacks in November of 2024 were almost 1% of the float that they've got. That's a lot in a single month. That is a lot. So anything over 0.5%, I would say, is a pretty big amount. Sven Heinrich says Fed policy is restrictive on paper only. It's all BS. Reality is markets and the economy have been drowning in liquidity with ever loosening financial conditions for the past 2 years. Hence, We're in the midst of the next big speculative asset fever before they even started cutting rates in earnest. It's reckless. If the Fed doesn't recognize the danger to the economy that is emerging by the unleashing of the largest asset bubble ever, that they once again are enabling, they are even bigger fools than that they have already amply demonstrated over the decades. But by all means, keep dousing more gasoline on the fire by easing financial conditions even further. Martin making a comment, 200 million on FARTcoin. I'm telling you folks, this is now worse than the tech bubble in 2000. Few of us lived it. Yes, it is. And that's what I've got for today, guys. So I'm going to end it there. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. We do have a discount coupon code. It's called discount. You get $5 off the monthly membership, and you get a $50 off discount on the yearly membership if you want to join. I will sparingly put in discounts, random discounts throughout the month that give you a little bit bigger discount if you want to join and find one of those. But that's what I've got for today, guys. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.